Call of the Wild has introduced its latest edition of rifles with the Modern Rifles pack. They came out on February 22nd, and I've been using them on and off ever since. So today what I want to do is run through my honest opinion now that I've been using them for about 10 days. And we're going to start off here with the 308. Now, the 308 is undoubtedly the most powerful Class 4 to 8 rifle in the game, even exceeding the performance stats of the M1. And when you go ahead and use the gun, it's clear to see why, because it will just absolutely take on anything that you put in its way. And if you're comparing it to a bolt-action rifle, I would definitely say that the AR functionality gives it a massive edge over something like the 308. However, when you compare it to something directly, like the M1, then I do feel that it has one shortfall, which always brings me back to using the M1 every time. And that is the recoil when you take a shot on. With the M1, the recoil is quite linear. When you shoot, the gun goes up, and then it comes back down, allowing you to line up the shot for a follow-up shot pretty easily. But with the 308, it's a little bit more difficult, because when you take the shot on, for example, let's just take a random shot on here. You'll see that the gun almost pulls itself back on an angle, which means that you're not just dealing with linear up and down, you're actually dealing with side inputs as well. And it creates this illusion of almost like a camera shake effect. And for that reason, sometimes if you're taking on multiple shots at once, it can feel a little bit disorienting. Now, it doesn't take away from the gun's performance. And realistically, if you're only going to be taking single shots on animals, you probably won't even notice. And you'll be focusing more on the gun's ability to take the animal down. But as an avid group hunter that likes to take on multiple animals at one need zone at a time, this is something that I've really noticed, and it's the reason that I still take preference for the M1 over the 308. If there was one negative that I would have to say about the gun, it is that the bullet travel speed is a lot slower than the M1 or the 30-06 or the 303, meaning that sometimes it can feel a little bit more difficult and a bit more challenging, which maybe some of you guys like, when it comes down to taking on long distance shots at animals that are moving. The next gun I want to talk about is indeed going to be the next class down from the 308, which is the 223. Now, the 223 to me is a class 2 to 4 rifle that underperforms, especially when compared to something like the 243, but I don't think it's the gun's fault. I think it's down to the ammunition itself. The ammunition itself underperforms when compared to the 243. It's been something that people have discussed for a long time. So when you actually go ahead and use the 223 on any sort of class 2 or 3 animals, you notice that it doesn't really hit as hard as you might hope that it would, and it seems to struggle to take down even the smallest of class 3 animals like the chamois here that we're taking on. There are a couple of things that you can do to try and mitigate this. One is going to be getting closer before you take on your shots. Don't take on any long range shots. And the other is going to be only take out class 2 animals with it instead of trying to take out a class 3 or class 4, which the ammunition is actually permitted for. But I feel that kind of takes away from the purpose of having the gun if that's what you're looking for, and you may as well just go with a 243 that can take out class 2s like there's nothing. Okay, so you can see that we did hit a vital organ, which is good. It's a good sign. And let's go ahead and find the animal and then see what actual damage we did with this 223. Finally, after a long time searching, I've come across the chamois here. So let's have a look. So we hit one lung. So from how far did we take that shot on? From 148 meters, not even 150 meters, it's only done a single lung shot, and it did slightly hit the liver, but to be honest, I think the game's being quite generous with that, because I don't see it touching the liver too much there. It's really disappointing, in my opinion. The Zaza 15 223 underperforms massively. If we go to the ammo of the 223, instead of having 20 penetration, I think it needs 25, and instead of it having 3 expansion, I think it needs 7. But of course, to test out the 22 rifle, we're gonna have to bring it on over to Hirschfelden to use it against these newly fixed geese. So let's go ahead and see how it performs here. Hopefully it will line up pretty well. Now, I've been using the 22LR on these recently, and I've had a lot of fun shooting them, guys. A video up in the top right there showing you guys how much money you can make by hunting these guys. And this one so far is performing as I would expect it to. I mean, the one thing that I am noticing is I'm having to do a lot more reloading because it only carries a 5-round magazine, but in terms of the actual shots, it feels very similar to shooting the 22 long rifle. It really does. So no complaints there from me. Now, if I can line up my shots here. Ah, damn, I was hoping we could get 5 for 5, but we're getting 4 for 5, not to worry. Very happy with it. I've used it against rabbits, I've used it against the hares, I've used it against the turkeys, and it does a good job. There's nothing wrong with it. The only thing that I would say, really, my only complaint, and I know a complaint that a lot of people in the community have, is that it only has a 5-round magazine. In terms of the ammunition, it's the exact same bullet as a 22 long rifle, so there's no complaints there. And in terms of the design, I mean, for me, I love this aesthetic of the gun. If we go ahead and have a quick look here, I don't know if it'll show us in the weapons, but if you look at the Predator there that I'm slightly covering, This is just a beautiful rifle right here with a paracord on the barrel. I think it looks absolutely incredible, so I love it. I would absolutely love to see an increase over time for the magazine capacity. I think that is one thing that we do need to see an improvement, because we've got a 22 Hornet now, which is able to take out class 2 animals that has a 7-bullet magazine. We've got the 22 long rifle, which has a 10-bullet magazine, and this one here I feel should be exactly the same. The 308 has 5 like the M1. The 223 also has a 5-bullet magazine, and I feel that this one here falls below with having a 5-bullet magazine, especially if you want to take on a flock animal like the geese, where often you'll get 8 to 10 within one flock. But that is just my opinion, and I would absolutely love to know what yours is as well. So please do let me know down in the comments, guys. And if you have enjoyed this video, please do go ahead and smash a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will catch you all in the next video, but until then, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the hunting out there. Peace.